Hey guys, this is me, Dominique, coming at you guys with a new video. First things first, if you're watching this video and you're wondering about the whole new setup and the change or whatever, I'm going to link a video regarding that so you guys can see, so you guys can know why the whole new change in setting and stuff like that. Secondly, this video is going to be regarding parenting and children. Now, before anyone goes into a tangent and feels some type of way before I even start talking, this is not a video giving parenting advice, trying to tell people how to parent, try to tell people how to do. I'm just talking about me and mine and my opinion on things. So with that being said, I'm going to speak about what I'm going to speak about. This past weekend, I was having a conversation with a couple of people who are not important right now. Basically regarding parenting out of obligation and parenting out of unconditional love. That's just, I think, how I'm gonna word it. Now, it may seem differently from when I start talking, but yeah. So, basically, I believe there are two different types of parents. I believe there are the type of parents that parent out of obligation, and the type of parents that parent out of an actual unconditional love for their child. Parents out of obligation. I believe parents who parent out of obligation parent on the spectrum that I feed you, I clothe you, I send you to school. That's all you need. Not saying there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, not saying there's something wrong with that. That's just not how I feel like I want to parent my kids. So that's just the stance I'm on. With the parenting out of obligation, I'm not sure of the statistics, but I know that a lot of parenting out of obligation comes from unexpected pregnancies and unexpected children and stuff like that. Now, let me go ahead and put this out there. Yes, I am married. Yes, I have 2 children. Yes, my children have the same father. Yes, that person is my husband. But neither one of my children were planned per se. And my first especially was very unexpected. Some of you guys know my story, some of you don't. I only knew my husband at the time. I only knew my husband for 4 months. We were only dating for 4 months. I got pregnant. But the whole thing is, when I conceived my son, I had already had in my mind that I was going to be a single mother because of what I knew as far as my surroundings and growing up, which I did a video regarding that as well, and based on my relationship with my husband. I didn't have any expectations past that because I'm the type of person is I look at the situation for what it is, not what I want it to be. So when I met him and I conceived my son, I did not have any expectations past the fact that we were going to be baby daddy, baby mama, straight up. That's what it is. That's what I thought it was going to be. That's reality. That was reality of my situation at the time. Although, obviously, it's played out different. But when I conceived my son, I never felt like I conceived him. I'm going to bring him into the world, and I'm just going to do what I got to do, but that's all it is. No, when I had my son, I literally felt like he was an extension of me. So, being that he was an extension of me, I felt like because he's my child, he's an extension of me. Of course, I want a certain thing for myself, so I want even better for my child. So, as my whole motto when I was going to parent was that, obviously, it might be a lot of people's motto that I want the best for my child. Most parents want the best. I'm not going to say all because that's what parenting out of obligation comes in at. Most parents want the best for their child, and most parents will bring about factors and do as much as they can to provide the best of their ability for their child. So, my thing is, the problem I have is that people who parents out of obligation feel like that's all there is to it, and that they're a good parent or the best parent because they doing what is required of them. And I believe as a parent, of course you need to do what's required, which is feed, clothe, provide your children with your needs. But I should also believe that you should provide your children with their wants. Well, not all of their wants, but you should provide them with their wants. And you should have a very strong relationship with your children. Now, I've known parents to be, oh, I gave my child whatever they needed and whatever they wanted, and I made sure they go to school every day, and I made sure they ate every day, and I did what I had to do as a parent. That's how you want to do, fine and dandy for you. Me personally, that's not how I live my life with my children. Because my children are an extension of me, I first and foremost, I provide my children with everything they need, most of their wants, and I expose my children to the world outside of the world we live in our surroundings. Meaning, I expose my children to other places in the world. I expose my children to other things besides the norms. Because I want my children to be well-rounded. I want my children to be able to adapt and know of other things. So I expose them to a lot of things. Because Rain is only a baby, I don't really do as much as I do with my son. With my son, I allow my son to have an opinion. My son is already an opinionated and outspoken child to begin with, but I allow a little leeway with his personality, because I don't want my child to be a sheep per se. So I allow him to question authority with respect, because authority is not always right. Even as adults, we know authority is not always right. So I allow him to question things. I allow him to have an opinion on things, because I know, for one, authority is not always right. And for two, if you don't question, you become a sheep, and you live your life based off what other people say or other people do. And I don't want that for my child. So I allow him leeway with certain things. And of course, I teach my son tolerance of other people, of other beliefs, of everything, because although my son is a black male, he's exposed to a lot of different races. And anytime I feel like he feels like he only wants to stick to his kind, I step in and I say, listen, that's not what it is. Like, for instance, he knows mommy has white friends. He doesn't see mommy white friends. He doesn't see mommy's Asian friends. He doesn't see mommy's mixed friends as much, because in actuality, I have two best friends, and that's who he always sees, which is his godmother and his auntie, which is his sister's godmother. And that's all he sees. But he knows mommy and both daddy. Now with dad, because dad works in a different environment, dad is around a lot more diverse people. He sees the diversity with dad's friends. So we're teaching him diversity, because we don't want him to be single-minded. Also, we teach him tolerance in the sense that, for example, let me look at my time. For example, he was having a conversation with some other kids. I don't know if I told the story before, and he talked about how, he didn't believe in Santa Claus. Well, he talked about how Santa Claus wasn't real. Yes, my son does not think Santa Claus is real. Came to the conclusion on his own. And we did kind of teach him that, this is why, the meaning of Christmas and stuff like that. Whole separate video. I think I'll link that video somewhere in here. This was an old video from when I first started making YouTube videos. But yeah, he said how Santa Claus is not real. So the other child was like, no, Santa Claus is real. And he was like, well, okay, if you want to believe Santa Claus is real, if Santa Claus is real to you, then Santa Claus is real to you. But Santa Claus is not real to me. If that's the way you want to believe, that's fine. And that's okay, but that's not the way I believe. So basically, you know, when I heard the conversation, because when you sit and listen to the kids have certain conversations, when I heard the conversation, I felt a sense of pride, because I felt like my baby, number one, he knows to respect other people's beliefs, but he knows to stand firm in his as well. So yeah, I think I went off a little bit, but yeah, as a parent, basically my overall consensus of the whole thing, I believe as a parent, this is just my opinion, as a parent, you should do more than the bare minimum of providing the basics for your children: shoes, clothes, shelter, food, education, as far as like, okay, sending them to school every day. I believe that you should have a relationship with your children. I believe that your children should be able to confide in you before they confide in anyone else. Because like the person, when we were having a conversation, one of the people when I was talking to, they stated that every best friend has a best friend. So I know in a lot of situations, everyone may not be as fortunate as I am to have the friendship that I have with my two best friends. But I want my children, as they're growing up, they're going to run into a lot of different relationships. They're going to run into different friends, different relationships with the opposite sex. But I want them to always be able to know one thing is always solid. Their mother, their father is always someone solid they can come back to and confide in. And I want to have that type of relationship with my children. I want them to know I'm mommy and I'm dad. I'm mommy, my husband's daddy. We're your parents. Of course, we give you what you need and what you want, but we're also beyond that, you know. So yeah, I think I got across what I really want to say in this video. So if you have any questions, any concerns, any clarifications about anything I said, hit me in the comments below. And until next video, I'm out.